How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And before we get started, I want to give you guys a heads up for the Discord. The silver membership is going to be expiring at the end of the month. So if you haven't had the opportunity, I suggest you go and check it out. Whether you're a trader or you're an investor, you will find it very helpful for you. So let's talk about Lucid. In my previous video, I was telling you guys if we see weakness inside of the market, if Lucid breaks through 36.50, it can get into the $34 range. What happened on the day? We ended up testing $34.12 on the low. And I did say if you wanted to explore the opportunity of going in with some puts, whether it was at 38 or even 36, we talked about this in the Discord as well, you should be able to see some success, and look what happened. We did have a recovery towards the end of the day, so I want to make sure you guys are prepared going into tomorrow. Let's not waste any more time and let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bullish case scenario and as well as in the bearish case scenario. And then we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to take a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $37.75. So we have no change whatsoever from the previous trading day. And then when we take a look at where it ranged on the day, on the low, it tested $34.12. And then on the high, testing $37.88. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 45.095 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 41.753 million shares. So we did have above average volume on the day. We dealt with a good amount of selling pressure earlier, but we had a strong recovery towards the end. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is at 43.87. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we have strength above the 200-day, the 100-day, but we are below the 21-day EMA and as well as the 50-day. So like I was saying in my previous video, don't be shocked if we break through the $36 level. We'll be testing in the $34 range. And that's exactly what we ended up seeing today. So now, as far as the market recovering towards the end of the day, Lucid benefited big time. Ended up seeing a high of 37.88. And what you want to look forward to going into tomorrow is a continuation. You want to see support actually hold up in the bullish case scenario right here at this $37 level. If it's able to hold this area up, that's where I'm looking forward to seeing if it can push to the 21-day EMA around $40.17. So this is an area you're going to want to keep a very close eye on, because if it does gain momentum, then we can see if it can get past that 42.50 area, which we've talked about many times on this channel. If it decides to have a pullback, then of course, you know, if it breaks through 36.50, then we can get another test getting back into the $34 range. The last time we visited these areas, you can see we visited on January the 6th, and also you can see all the way back here in November as well. So this is part of the reasons why there's a lot of demand for Lucid shares at these particular levels. But if the market is very weak, it's very easy for it to actually break through these areas. So that's just one thing you want to keep in mind. So let's just see how it performs going into tomorrow. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Lucid. So as we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So we're going to take a look at the filings for January the 24th. So we have Christopher Wheel and Company Core Investment Fund that purchased 3,757 shares. We also have National Bank of Canada that purchased just over 79,000 shares. We have Sky Oak Wealth LLC that purchased 5,800 150 shares. And we also have TCI Wealth Advisors Inc. that purchased 175 shares. And then we have National Bank of Canada went in with calls at 22,674 shares. So we can see institutions have been loading up on Lucid. So when we see the short interest, the dark pool short volume ratio is at 53.15%. And then for the dark pool short volume, it is just over 9.59 million shares. As we scroll down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 0, updated 3 minutes ago. And then for the short ball fee rate, it is currently not available. And then when we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 20th, it is at 54.22. And then for the close of the 21st, being at 53.15. So one thing that is very clear, Lucid does continue to have short squeeze potential, and it's part of the reasons why you see volatility inside of this stock, and why I say having a game plan is essential if you're going to be trading it. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we see here on the inflow, it was at 339, and then on the outflow, it's at 327. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large, it was 17.05. On the medium, it was 146. And then on the small, it was 176. Taking a look at the outflow side, we could see on the large, it was 2.80. On the medium, it was 140. And then on the small, it was 184. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for today, January the 24th, it being that big inflow of 14.25 million. Analyzing the numbers even further, taking a look at the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, which is the big time difference maker, which consists of whales, institutions, and funds, we have 17.05 million versus 2.80 million on the outflow. So that is huge. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 2.74%. Again, a very consistent range for Lucid. But one thing that is very clear, since it got added into the NASDAQ 100, it moves very well when it comes to the tech sector. And this is one thing you want to pay attention to if you are going to be trading it. There's many opportunities, whether you want to go in with puts or whether you want to go in with calls. So let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid in regards to the price action, if you're looking for a bullish move, you're going to want to see it get back to the $40 level. This is very important. And if you are a bear, so you want to see a pullback and see further downside, then you want to see price action below 36.50, like I mentioned in my previous video. So when you have a game plan, it makes it so much easier to trade this stock, and this is why I do these videos for you guys. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. Plus, on top of that, we see institutions are continuing to load up on shares. Like I said, Lucid being in the NASDAQ 100 is a big deal. If the market is weak, of course, Lucid is going to pull back, and I should say tech in particular. But if the market is strong, then Lucid is going to pick back up like it did today. So you want to continue to keep an eye on what's happening in regards to the overall market conditions before jumping in. And if you are an investor, then yes, you could have had the opportunity to buy the low of the day around that $34 range. But like I say, if you are an investor and you believe in getting value for your money, do know buying into Lucid, it is trading at a fairly high multiple, considering that they are a brand new car company and they have a lot to prove. You are taking on a lot of risk, but the company does have potential, so that is one thing that we cannot ignore. And if you need help in regards to trading Lucid, or even if you want to invest in Lucid, by all means, join the Discord. We talk about Lucid almost every single day, and it's one of the stocks that we play almost on a daily basis. So I hope you guys found this video helpful, and it'll be very interesting to see how the stock performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.